Hey, happy Monday.
Here we go.
Man, happy Monday. Happy good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're coming from. So, we just want to wish you the last Monday of the month of April. And man, are we going out with a bang? Holy cows.
Yes.
Look at these two. So, Damon, how are you, dude?
I'm doing awesome, Kurt.
Did you survive the weekend?
I did. We had, and you know what I have to say, because we don't get to say this very much. I'm going to put it on the screen. The Seattle Mariners are in the top of the West.
You know what? Everybody get a screenshot of that, right?
Yeah.
Because
It doesn't happen very often.
you got to cherish it.
Games.
Since Ken Griffey left town, right?
It's been a while.
All right, hey, let's do introductions. I'm going to start with my dear friend. Man, I got
Let's
my
get
goodness gracious, my heart is just pounding. Damon, if I go down, it's like just keep going around. Like call 911 later.
You have the automatic defibrillator.
Tell my wife I love her. My heart couldn't handle it today because I'm just so excited. So, all right, Megan Militello, how are you, Megan? What's happening?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having us on. Again, I feel like we do this often, even though we're on different sides of the nation.
Planet. You know, so I was trying to, you know what? I think in person, I've done more lives with you in person, and you live in Anchorage, Alaska. I don't know. I should Google how many miles away you are from me. And I think you and I have been together on live more in person than I have with anybody else, other than probably Damon. So how about that one? Isn't that crazy?
Wow. Yes.
So I came to your place when you guys were just cranking it with elevated oats, and you guys, and do you remember? I go, hey, do you want to go live? And you're like, yeah, let's go live. And like we did like a live stream on the spot. We were live together in Buffalo at the MEP conference, and then Damon and I came up and we were live together. And so I think we've done like 4 or 5 lives in person. So Megan, dear friend, I just worship the ground you walk on. Thank you for being here. And then you've got your partner in crime, Lacey Ernandes. Lacey, you and I met. Do you believe it was 4 years ago that we met? Isn't that crazy?
Wow, time has flown.
Isn't that wild? So you and I had the privilege, met you 4 years ago through the Alaska MEP. We had a little cohort program. You came in, and man, I just kindred spirits. I just worship the ground that you walk on, just like your partner, Megan. And so, all right, let's start here. Megan, tell me, let me give a little background on these two, Damon. Damon, you ready? You sitting down? You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Man, I might even get choked up when I talk about these two. These guys, all right, served 2 tours in Iraq. They are just, they're heroes. I look up to them, admire them. Again, worship both of them. Thank you for your service. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you for your service to our country. You guys are amazing. And then, Megan, you've had I think you guys were both air traffic controllers. Both of you became super tight through the military, through Army buddies, and you guys came back and you have a fascinating journey. Just talk a little bit about when you got out. Let's whatever you want to share, please do.
I was actually talking about this yesterday. I was talking to a young lady that's doing a capstone project on women veterans in Alaska, and I was sharing about our deployments and how Lacey was already in the unit and I was a late deployer. So their unit was the first 15-month tour in Iraq. So the people that had been out there had already gone home on vacation or not, and they were getting extended. So it was a really tough time. And then there was a small group of us that came out late, and we were only there for the last 5 months. So me and Lacey met in Iraq, which is already a wild part of the story. Being air traffic controllers together, we learned a lot about communicating and putting aside personal things about it, right? Or our egos. And it's no, this is how the mission has to get done. So not only did we have that air traffic, but we had just the Army background. I think that really strengthened our relationship. And then, it was almost 10 years, I think, that we hadn't really talked much. It was a few calls here and there. Lacey was doing something completely different. I was doing something completely different. And my adventure into elevated oats and starting that business, I reached out to Lacey about making a logo. And then it just kind of all came back together. And it was wow, this is what almost what I had been missing was those connections and that deep rooted relationship where you have each other's back no matter what, because actually have been in life and death situations where you have to have each other's back no matter what. So I think that bond, like now going into business, even now starting this new adventure that we're working on, which we'll share all about, we're able to communicate and work really well together. And I am so excited and proud to be able to have that in this lifetime.
Awesome.
Soul sisters, if I can, right?
Yeah.
Is that I tell you, you guys are you're a special breed. And so Lacey, just share a little bit from your perspective going into the military, serving in Iraq. Just share a little bit on your journey.
Yeah, certainly. I joined the Army a year after graduating high school. I needed to get out of Indiana. Otherwise, we get stuck there. There's a lot of agriculture, and I wanted to see more. So I joined the Army, obviously, and I was one of the people who had taken my vacation like early in that deployment she's talking about, the 15 months. And that was interesting because all of America got to find out that we were getting extended while we didn't know because it was on the news. So it was like, oh, hey, we have 3 months left. And then the next day it was like, oh, we have 6 months left.
Wow.
That was hard.
Yeah, it was. And so, but it was nice to be able to have like the late deployers like Megan. And I think there was like 5 of you or something. And so we were like family there, and we having new people was, it was like the, like what you do for fun, I guess.
Yeah. Like the new kid at school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, oh, new people. Like, let's find out all about them. We've all know each other.
Yeah.
Know each
Yeah.
other every
We're
day.
sick of all you. Let's find out about the new people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We came back from that deployment. We got ready for another deployment immediately. And then after that one, I got pregnant and got out of the military. Megan was still in. She came and visited me once after our son was born. And then I ended up getting back in the Army. Like, she got out of the military and started working for the FAA. And let's see. After that, I think I did like 4 more years in the Army and got out because it was me and my husband, and we had a young one, and it's really, really difficult to try to manage that. I went to school for graphic design. I was a bill collector for a time.
Yeah. That went well, right? You loved that, right?
Oh yeah, it was my favorite. Not really. But it did teach me a lot about like, because I'd been in sales before the Army, you know, like I had teenage jobs and whatnot. But so it taught me about how to close the sale when there wasn't, like when they already owe you money.
Yeah.
It's like they already bought it and probably got rid of whatever it was.
Right.
So that was a cool experience. And then when I was in school for graphic design, that's when like Megan and I really reconnected. And I just think it's so cool because I'm like, girl, we've known each other almost like 20 years now. And I thought I would like grow up with, you know, the people I went to school with and be friends with them for the rest of my life. And I'm like, no, me and you we're real childhood friends now.
Yeah. That's something, how the later in life friendships are really something.
Yeah, definitely. That's my sister.
That's
even
your
though we're
sister.
not-
All right. So let's hey, let me see if this works. Sometimes I get the hearts going, Damon. There they are.
There you
Right
go.
there.
There you go.
There
you go.
Hey, Lacey's got the hearts going. So
Yeah.
Lacey, what attracted you to, you know, like, all right, military, air traffic controller? What attracted you? You know, you tried the bill collecting thing, not your jam. Really struck a chord on the graphic side. Like, what the creativity, you know, you've now evolved to, and as a matter of fact, for folks out there, drop us a note, let us know you're there. Damon, we got a few friends that are just
Yeah, I'm going to drop some comments up here. Diane Byer says, happy Monday, everyone. Diane, happy Monday back to you. Hope you're having a great day. We got Molly Blakely stopping by saying, love this. Molly, thanks for being here. We got Uzman stopping in saying, greeting from Uzman. How are you all there? Damon Paslaga, nice to meet you people here. Hope you're doing good work. Best wishes to everyone. I can't say it all right, but thanks for being here, Uzman. Love it. So,
all the emojis.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's all
So
good. He's got hearts emojis. He's just going for it. Thanks, man.
Keep bringing emojis. So everybody out there, drop us a note. Let us know that you're there. Do us a favor. Connect with Megan on LinkedIn. Connect with Lacey. Lots of exciting things going on. So Lacey, let's go here. Like, what inspired you? Like, where did you find this little creative bug? when you connect with Lacey on LinkedIn, you've got like packaging designer, you're an FDA labeling expert. What attracted you to that?
Great question. So in high school, I was like part of the yearbook and I was darkroom editor. I was kind of into like taking pictures and like the creative side, but I was more into like playing with Photoshop and the Adobe programs. So I think I always just kind of played with that on my own time. I did go to college for a little bit before I dropped out, and I did like a newsletter there. I was always kind of trying to do some sort of graphic thing, not knowing that I was like going to do this for the rest of my life, but hey. So yeah, and when Megan approached me and with the elevated oats thing, I was like, wow, this is cool. Like I could have a package in a store. What?
Yeah.
Me? So that was
Yeah.
really cool. And I was all in, of course.
And I'll tell you, so these guys were just fierce entrepreneurs, loved the branding, the website, everything was phenomenal. The packaging, the product was absolutely delicious. And so you guys did an amazing job. Megan, I got to come visit, got a little tour. So let's just talk about like, I want to dive into like your superpowers. You're now working, we've talked about the Alaska MEP. Both of you have been very involved with the MEPs, taking advantage of the programs that they offer. And now you guys have a really new and exciting association that you're putting together to help entrepreneurs. Talk a little bit about like and I know you're very humble, so I'm going to throw a goofy question, but like your superpowers, what do you feel like with your partnership with Megan? What do you love doing? What do you feel that you bring to the table? Let's talk about like your entrepreneurial, like what really gets you fired up?
Me? Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Megan. Did I say Lisa? I meant Megan. Megan.
I'll go first.
Megan.
Okay.
Megan.
I'm like, oh, I thought this was going to be a Megan question.
I actually love this question because we were just on ChatGPT asking it, hey, with everything you know about me, what would you say my superpower is?
Oh, did you really?
We really did. Yeah. Like in this last
wow.
week, we did this.
Yeah.
And which is a very interesting and cool insight. So for
Right.
me, it is creating action-driven communities. I love building community. I love bringing people
Yep.
together because we can overcome if we're together, right? Like I think doing Elevated Oats showed that was my first business venture. And then working with people, like you're not a solo entrepreneur, like you have a partner and you have employees and you're building something that's going further out there. It is a lot.
Right.
It's a lot. Yeah. So I think that having you can get very siloed into what you're doing. We had it vertically integrated system here in Alaska. We don't have co-packers that could be making our product, right? So we were doing everything, and then that takes up a lot of your time. And so I think that you kind of stop forgetting that people are out there doing the same thing. We're all trying to overcome these same problems. And when we decided, even before we shut down Elevated Oats, we connected a lot with different business owners, entrepreneurs, learned a lot about the same challenges that they were facing, we were facing after shutting down Elevated Oats, because I think we really realized this wasn't right. The model that we set up for Alaska just wasn't going to be the thing where we envisioned it going. So we're like, it's okay. There will be something else in our future. This is not the only thing, right? So deciding to shut that down, these last 2 years, I've been working for the MEP. And so I've seen a lot more manufacturers on all different types of things that are happening. And we really are all facing the same problems. Like in Alaska, we're facing a lot of the same challenges: logistics, shipping. Every manufacturer is going to make some type of comment about that because our cost is, we're adding this cost coming up, we're adding this cost going out. We already have these high prices here. Our supply chain is not really well connected here in Alaska. Everybody's getting everything from out of state. Having a new Amazon place is huge. That's been a huge impact for here in Alaska, but there are ways that we can work together and overcome some of these just common challenges that we have. And I've seen the manufacturers do it. I've seen them team up and consolidate shipping so that they can reduce the costs. We just need to get people in the same room. So if we can do that, I know that it can happen if they're together.
Yeah, I like that. Stronger together. And so let's start here. So when you guys with elevated oats, and again, this was just a really cutting edge, dynamic product that you guys offered. Just absolutely love what you guys did. Just so courageous for you guys to take that leap of faith and go into entrepreneurship. Megan, when you guys had elevated oats, you would do like, if I'm not mistaken, like monthly hikes, like mountain climbs, like what, like, and you were bringing community together, posting that on social. Just share a little bit on that perspective.
Yes. And I think that's where the superpower really like comes into play. Is it started with elevated oats. We went through an accelerator program, and Linda, who was the director of G Beta at the time, was like, hey, why don't you host a hike for all of us in the cohort to go out on? So we're like, okay, great, let's do that. And then it kind of became this out of the box marketing like tactic, like, okay, let's get everybody outside. This is our audience. This is exactly who we want to be talking to. Yeah. And let's give them the product. Like, we're going to hear about what they like. We're going to actually like see them outdoors. But when we decided to shut down the business, like no part of me wanted to stop the community, right? I'm like, they're not coming together to eat the granola. Like, they're coming together to get outside. They want that connection. They want to feel more confident outdoors. We saw the problems with that audience. And then ultimately now it is its own thing. We empowered the community members to lead hikes. So last month we actually had more than 7, actually 9 different adventures that were going on, different hikes that you can join. One gentleman was doing bike rides. So, I mean, free. Yeah, all free, by the way. Free, so this is like just the community getting together, you know, they're just out there doing awesome. It. Yeah.
Right. So, all right. So then let's go here. So you have that passion, and you used to post about that all the time. And the reason I want to get into that is, you know, for manufacturers, I don't care if you cut metal, bend steel, circuit board, you know, whatever it is, there is an opportunity. I know, like, it's, as entrepreneurs, we get so nose to the grindstone, it's hard to think like that. But it's like, how could you create a community? And so I just want to share a couple of things that Megan and Lacey have done. So now, okay, so then you guys decide, tough decision, and that is difficult for, you know, entrepreneurs to be like, hey, you know what, we're going to take a pivot. We're going to make a little transition. Lacey, share a little bit, because you've been doing, as I've been following you, being my bestie that you are, you've been doing some consulting. Talk a little bit about what you've been doing since Elevated Oats, and then we're going to dive into your new Summit Manufacturing Association that you guys are launching.
Love. Okay, yeah. So for people who don't know, I was married to the military as well. I served, and my husband was still serving he did 21 years. He just retired December. It was December. Wow.
Good for him.
Yeah. Awesome. So 21 years. We were living during all of Elevated Oats, sorry. We were living in North Carolina. We moved to Washington State, and it was probably like 8 months later when we decided to close Elevated Oats. And so I was like, whoa, we just moved to like the most expensive place on earth.
Damon, you know that well, right?
Yeah.
But I started working for a company called One of Floors. I still actually work part-time for them, doing their marketing and kind of handling their brand. But I also I've been taking like logo design and like consulting on the side recently with the Summit situation. So I think for me, the whole time, it was nice to kind of have a break and not worry about like having to feed other people, you know, like when you have your own business.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Well, you're doing it, so I don't have any hair left, right? So it's just a little bit stressful running a business, right, Megan?
Yes. So it was nice to like take a break a little bit, you know, and let somebody else handle their own business. And then, but the whole time me and Megan are like talking, and we're like, oh, you know, I kind of miss working with you. So it was just a matter of time before something came out of our brains.
It was just a matter of time. So Megan, let's slide over here. So you bring your passion, your expertise, your experience to the Alaska MEP. And for our friends out there not familiar, the Alaska MEP is the Alaska Manufacturing Extension Partnership. And you've done an amazing job there. Again, like bringing that superpower, building community. Talk a little bit about what you've been doing, and then how this bridge right in. Then we're going to dive deep into the Summit Manufacturing Association.
Yeah, part of my role at the MEP was the SCOIN pilot program. So it's the Supply Chain Intelligence Optimization Network, something like that, right?
Yeah,
And the point is to strengthen our national supply chain. So if we have manufacturers that are looking for something, we can put their item out on this list. We list all the tolerances, how much they're looking for, when they want it. Basically, we're trying to find someone that can make that is in the US. So this isn't putting a list out to the world. This is really just putting a list out to all of the MEPs in the nation, which there's 51, right? So we have all of these MEPs looking at it. You already have their network that they're tapping into to see if there's some type of match. So with us doing that, I'm talking a lot to manufacturers about what they need, different things in their supply chain, what they're manufacturing. And a lot of our manufacturers, we don't have a lot of manufacturers. We have I think less than 800, I want to say, in the state. A lot of it is food-based. A lot of them outsource a lot of what they do because of just our lack of resources here in the state. So trying to strengthen the national system really showed me the flaws in just our local system and how we're not connected and how we have this one road system, and our food manufacturers, there's few distributors to choose from, and the broker that we talk to for elevated oats wants us to compete with the nationwide granolas, right? And I'm like, well, it doesn't fit. These don't compute because we are different. We're here, but people aren't seeing it that way, right? So it's trying to make changes in the system because Alaska is just different, everybody's importing everything and we don't necessarily need to, but there's not the systems in place to just bring as much local in.
Right.
So all of this to say, I started doing manufacturing mixers once a quarter to bring people together. And so that's been going on for the last year and a half, which that idea really stemmed from the community hikes that were happening at Elevated Oats, right? And so it's well, if this is working over here for this business, why wouldn't it work over here for this industry, this community? How can we get these people together in the same room? Right. So it's different than a hike. We get everyone in the same room. I've learned a lot over the last year and a half when it comes to how we communicate in a room, what makes sense, what works, trying to get everybody to just have an icebreaker. And not everybody is a networker. Not everybody is just has this huge personality, right? Sometimes it takes a little work. So having these consistent events has been huge, I think, for our industry. And I've already seen so much come. It's almost, I think of a brain. You see all of the little sparks happening in the little clusters. That's the rooms. That's what's happening. And so we want to continue it. We want to continue that because it's so valuable.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So let's dive right in. What do you got, Damon?
Well, and I mean, and like you said, Megan, it's helping the people in the room make it a better experience for them because there aren't natural. They're in the room and I don't want to say especially, but in manufacturing, a lot of the people aren't used to going out and doing that kind of interaction. But once you show them a few simple things, they begin to enjoy it. And the next thing you know, your 800 manufacturers in Alaska are working together. Right. Instead of going, oh, I'm going to have to go to the lower 48 to find something else.
Right.
Something else. And I go, there's somebody that they might be 200 miles away, but or 300 or 400 miles away even, but it's still a heck of a lot easier for me to deal with that than the ocean freight and the other things that we get to deal with coming all the way south. But that's super cool. Those manufacturing mixers there's some mixers in general, be able to talk to people, get to know them, because you never know. One person could have this problem. The other one said, I just solved that. Yeah. I just had that. Or, we've got like you said before, we've got a container coming, but there's room on it. Who else has stuff they want to put on it? Yeah. So many things. That's cool.
It's super a great point. And the thing, there's wonderful, it takes a village to raise a village to raise a child, they say, right? It takes a village to raise a business, right? And so I love what you guys are doing here because you're pulling people together and folks can go to a chamber event or a small business development center or BNI, some of the different networking, and that's wonderful because you get different perspectives. But as a manufacturer, sometimes you're like, well, I don't need to be hanging out with the attorneys, the financial planners, the all the salespeople selling me something. It's just like I just want to geek out with other manufacturers that have the similar problems that I have, or maybe I've got a solution that I can. In a lot of manufacturers, like you said, Megan, are not the most extroverted. They might be a little bit on the introverted side. So, all right, I'm going to toss this up to both you guys. We are talking about your new Summit Manufacturing Association. What is this, and how are you guys making the world a better place? Who wants to grab that one?
Oh, it's off screen for me. So who's that? No, I'm kidding.
There you go.
Okay, what is it about? Well, we're actually thinking about changing the name, which is probably why you have the AK Summit Manufacturing Association up there. We think Alaska's Manufacturing Association is probably more inclusive.
There you go.
Lessons. It's so funny because we learn these like so quick, right? You're like, we're going to do this.
Now keep in mind when you guys go national, like maybe, so maybe you might. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents, right? But anyway, go ahead, Lacey.
Heard. Well, I don't know how much I can say. So, because there's like information that's not totally out there, but hey, let's just say there's a trade war kind of going on. Okay.
Wait, there is?
Yeah. Right. And because of that, like, I understand we want to have more made in America things, but we need to have the systems built. And we're seeing we don't have that. We've just looked to see the land, and now we need to build things.
Yeah.
Because we've been importing for so long. And I think Alaska is a really good place to really, I think, model this, because it is, one, smaller, but two, it's also away from the rest of the 48, the lower 48, I guess. And so if we could build something that really connects everybody here, I think we could expand to the lower 48. Megan, back to you.
I think, Kurt, me and Lacey just have so many ideas. We have other ideas that are nationwide ideas, and that's going to be another episode.
That'll be the next, right. Probably like 3 or 4 months from now, if I'm knowing you two, right? So
we're walking. We're in the walking phase.
Yeah, heck, we're crawling. You guys are right into the walking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Alaska needs this community, right? So like we're gonna start just baby steps here. This is something that we see as a gap that I think I'm not gonna say it's not a lot of effort on our part, but we just need to, like the directory, right? Like we have someone here that does a startup calendar to get that information out. We just need it all consolidated in one place so that we can go to it and use that as a tool.
And that's our first, like, our biggest first thing is like starting that directory. We've heard around from people in, the ecosystem, like, oh yeah, the MEPs have started one every single time they've started. I guess they've had multiple iterations in Alaska, but that's not accessible to the other manufacturers or the suppliers. And that is our goal, is to be able to link those people up, and even just the institutions that support them.
Yeah, I love that. And so the thing is, it's kind of bringing the network and community together, like who does what, and that's the thing, is like, it's just, Damon, how many times have we talked about, like, there could be somebody right down the street that does what I need, but I don't know it. And so now I'm going somewhere else, So so let's dive into community and just some of the aspects you guys have. You have a new website, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes.
Are we broadcasting?
Can you pull it up?
I can pull it up. I will. So tell us a little bit about the, so for manufacturers out there, Megan, just share a little bit, like what can they expect? What would they do when they meet with you? Let's walk through, and then I'm going to grab the website.
Yeah, right. So as Lacey said, right now our main focus is building the directory. The MEP in Alaska, the grant is not going to be housed under the university anymore. So the organization is sunsetting. And as Lacey said, we've had 3 iterations of MEP in Alaska. This is not the first time that we've had the organization here. So it's been very challenging to reach the metrics that need to be hit for that federal money that comes in. So yeah, all the work and data and everything that all of those MEPs have done is gone, right? We don't know what that list of manufacturers was that the first one had, or what the second one had, or who they were connected with, or what those businesses were doing.
Or
So,
if they still exist.
or if they exist, or if they were shut down, or who's doing what, right? So this is where it's like, this is by manufacturers for manufacturers. Like, this is how we can connect with each other in Alaska, how we can strengthen our own businesses, our own supply chain, how we can keep things closer to home. When it comes to what people can expect, we're going to do quarterly mixers still. We would like to do one large annual event that is for connecting our folks, some type of B2B, something that's all about manufacturing here in Alaska, because we have some people doing some really interesting things too. And then we want to connect our buyers and our suppliers. Like, how can we get people in front of those people? And then if I keep saying, and then, but there's more. We have a lot of dreams. And if these things could all align, if we're able to get funding for them, then we can execute those things, like programs for high school kids to introduce them to manufacturing, so that we can try strengthening our workforce here in Alaska, because that's another huge complaint, is that most of our people, the kids in Alaska, they leave. They come of age, they leave. So our population here is never growing, right? We have a lot of different weird challenges. And so we want to come at it from a few different angles and kind of run that marathon. Like, if we get our kids ready, like, how can we prepare them for our future workforce, instead of just being in this panic reaction, like, we need to get people here for these jobs right now, right? It's like, we want to be thinking about it more long term.
Yeah. It is a long-term approach to getting labor force is huge everywhere. And especially in a place like Alaska, because you just, like you said, you have a lot of people that are leaving, and it's so critical to start early, because those kids, those parents, they don't even consider manufacturing a lot of times. That, it's a college or else, and the or else is probably not nearly as good as finding a manufacturing career. And that's really one of the things I think is super cool.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, Molly dropped a couple of comments here, Damon, if you want to grab that.
Yeah. Yep. She was talking about, that's why she had to move production out of Alaska. That was earlier. She was talking about that. And she said, I can help with that. I built the entire program. Okay, so we want to talk. And then Diane says, future workforces are incredibly important now. And that's a huge thing, Megan, is starting early, because when you see those kids 7th, 8th, 9th grade, whatever, when they're really getting that impression of what I can do, if manufacturing is in there, they're not going to think that, hey, I'm going to, do a retail job or something else, because I saw this. My son's out of college now, but when he was getting out of high school, the kids that weren't going to college, the choices I was just so disappointed, because none of them out of his group of friends chose manufacturing. And I know several of them would have done very well there. And it's not a career like people think. It's dust, dirty, all that kind of stuff. Right. It is high technology. You can see your accomplishments every day. And it is a career that will allow you to build a life and a family and a legacy around something that you'll be proud of.
It's so cool to build stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's when I was in manufacturing, I'm one of those geeks that if you're building cool stuff, I'm out there after everything closed down, touching it, just feeling it, right? Because we build some of the coolest stuff we do every day.
Humans are so cool. Like, seriously, I love what we invent. Like,
yeah.
And Damon, we've been up to Alaska a couple of times. Where we've had the privilege of taking tours and seeing what people are making.
Yeah,
is just awesome. So, all right, Megan, take us through the website, or Lacey, whoever. I'll throw it up to either one of you. Take us through the website. Tell us what's going on here.
Oh, okay, I'll do it. Here is our little hero thing. And the reason why I have this little slideshow going is because we want people to understand, especially in Alaska, like, manufacturers aren't just, like a factory that you think of,
Yeah.
industrial. Like there are these small things too, like leather working and jewelry making and fashion design, and all of that is making, and making equals manufacturing. So we really wanted to talk to all of the manufacturers in Alaska, because a lot of them are small like this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've encountered fishing lure, dog
Yeah.
food, dog treats. Samson, has like a wonderful little CNC shop.
Yeah.
Stacy with GC Handrail, like she has
Oh,
an
yeah.
amazing, incredible company.
Super cool stuff.
Doing handrails for like decks and patios and that type of thing. So, I mean, there's food processing, fish, seafood, but there's a lot of agriculture. Right. I mean, it really covers though you are small, you're mighty, with those 800 manufacturers. We've seen a lot of really exciting, cool. We've had a tea manufacturer on the show before from, just
Felicity Loft.
Yeah. Thank you. Felicity Loft. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Fabrication.
she shared how she had a wonderful experience with the Alaska MEP and how they helped her tremendously. So, okay, Lacey, keep it rolling. What else do we have going on here?
Okay, well, here is where we're talking about the mixers, and if you click that thing, but you don't have to. It'll go to the events. We only have a couple. And we are planning on doing this ChatGPT because Megan and I are just avid fans of ChatGPT. We should be investors, I think. But honestly, and people approach us a lot about like, oh, well, how do you use that? And I think some people are intimidated. So we want to show them how you can use it for your small business or your manufacturing, and maybe save you on hiring some people.
Yep.
Time, money, energy. Yeah.
And then we have a fall mixer that we're planning, but we have not all the details. We haven't done the yet.
Cool. Awesome. So and I'll tell you, I'm on the board of my local manufacturing association, and it's just wonderful seeing what it can do. And like I said, it's just all sorts of different sizes, companies that have been around for I think we have a member that was founded like 1807 or something like that, like a couple hundred years. Obviously the founder didn't make it. The founder's not still part of the company. So, but but it's just also, it could be the solopreneur, like we said, like the person working out of the living room, or maybe they've got a trade that they're working out of the garage, or it's a 50, 100, 200, 500 person manufacturer. It's wonderful, an opportunity to bring all these folks together and just to collaborate, and just, as you keep saying, Megan, stronger is better, right? Together, it's just, this is wonderful. Talk to us a little bit about the directory. What's going on with the directory?
Okay. If you type, don't do that one yet. Go to get listed. Because the way we figure that we can keep the directory updated and people invested is that we need to charge a little fee. Yep. We're thinking for manufacturers, $10 a month is pretty good right now. If you click the directory, you won't see anything because you are not logged in, and it is not a customer facing directory. It is a business to business directory.
Yep.
Maybe that'll change in the future once we get more members and they have a say. But right now we think that that's the best way to keep the directory, up to date and people invested.
Mm-hmm.
And focused.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely love it. So
right
Megan,
now, big
Megan,
push
with your supply chain, like what you experienced with the supply chain initiative through the MEP, how do you from that? Is there anything from that experience that you feel is applicable to trying to get this community off the ground?
I think it's just access, because right now what happens is I'll talk to someone and I'll be like, oh, hey, do you know this person, or this person? Let me connect you. And so for the last year, I've said that my superpower is connecting people. And that's what I would do. I talk to a manufacturer. Hey, let me give you some connections. Let me send you this person. Oh, this is what you need. I know that this exists in the ecosystem. Talk to this person. And I can't just be that person, right? Like we can't have just a few players be those connectors. Yeah. And so how can we create a space where you can go and you're empowered to do that yourself and find those connections yourself, so that it's not just someone in the ecosystem that knows all the things, or like a small group of people that know all the things. How can we alleviate that work, that connection work, and just put it all together, give the people the power.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely love it. You know,
Yeah.
one thing that hit me, Damon, did you have a comment, question?
Well, no, I think it's really cool when you talk about if you can empower the members in your association to introduce people. So I'm talking to somebody today that has a challenge, and I know somebody else that can do it through your community. If you can introduce that way easily, that's a huge thing, because we have these communities and they just sit there, right? You might go to, like you said, you go to a mixer. That's kind of cool. You do that. But the real power is when I talk to somebody that's got a problem and they say, hey, I know that this company over here is doing this and they might be able to help you. You should talk to them. And you do that introduction, super easy, bing, bang, boom. It's done. And it's somebody that, the person you're introducing them to, that might be able to help them. It's a huge thing. That's a warm introduction, which is great. And B, the person gets help. And it's good. So cool.
And I'll tell you, from the association I'm involved with, I find what you get out of it is what you put into it. You know what I mean? Like if you go into a business community or a networking group and you just kind of think like, magic's going to happen automatically. Like it's like it's like a gym membership, like if I belong to a gym, man, I got, I was there at 5 o'clock this morning. Like I need to be in there doing my thing, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Well, you really need to be a part of it. And I think Megan and Lacey, what you guys, you bring that contagious enthusiasm, and just, you guys are just such a positive force that, there's nobody better to pull this community together. Speaking of positive force, Damon, did you see Diane Beyer has a couple of comments?
Diane, she's got some great comments. Now is the great time to put the spotlight on American manufacturing. People are becoming more aware and are paying attention. That is for sure. And she said, there isn't anything we use in our daily lives that isn't manufactured. That is correct. So many things we just take for granted. And American manufacturers need a way to pull together in one community. So much change and challenges are happening in the industry. We're always better when we're working and supporting each other. So true. So true. And what you're doing there with your association is definitely going to help the members.
Yeah. And then I don't know if you guys caught this. Molly dropped the youth program, Megan. I talked to you about it a few years back. So, hey, this might be an opportunity right here. Like this is community right here virtually. And so maybe there's an opportunity to, bring, just how much value, for you guys to be successful. It's all about the value, right? It's not just a perceived value. It's what the value that those manufacturers can get. So, all right. Best way for folks to find you guys, are LinkedIn, Facebook? Where can we find, where are you two hanging out?
I think LinkedIn's probably the best. Yeah.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
Step by LinkedIn, just check her, and Lacey, I love, you have all sorts of fun comments. Now, education, are you guys going to be like on top of the AI thing? Maybe, are there going to be any other fun programs that you guys are going to be doing? Just soon to find out, or what's going on there?
We got a lot of things on the pipeline, but you can only do so much with two people.
You can only do so much. So let's now one question I know you guys are super busy because you're building this amazing association. We're going to start winding down. Megan, if you could go back in time, is there anything you would do differently or tell your younger self as an entrepreneur? Is there anything you would have done differently as an entrepreneur with like the information that you know today? What would you have done differently? Anything?
I would have done so many things differently.
Yeah,
but
you have to learn. My list is like huge, right?
Yeah, you have to learn it. You can't just, if I knew all the things I knew, then I wouldn't be where I'm at, right? So find a mentor, find mentors. I think that the people around you are extremely important. They can shave years off of your life. Like just some of the conversations I've had with early stage food business owners, in an hour, I can give you so much information that I learned over that time, and that's so valuable. So I think that, again, it goes to connections, relationships, asking questions to people. I think I would go back and do better at that, because as it may look like I was doing that, but I think I was very in my weeds.
And it's hard to say, to raise your hand and ask for help. And sometimes you just don't even know what you don't know, right? Like you're not even sure what questions to even ask. But I think you're hitting it right on the head, because if you think of like How do most businesses start? How about our dear friend Lynn from Swoop, right? And, she had a situation with clothing and she wanted to solve it for herself. Next thing you know, her coworkers wanted that same piece of clothing that she's wearing. Then next thing you know, the hobby turns into like this little side hustle. Now she's got like this full-fledged business. So from a food standpoint, and it was kind of the same thing for you guys. And like, you've done the packaging, like trying to knock on the door for retailers, how to get like the ingredients and FDA and all that stuff on your pack. Like, a lot of those. So there's no reason for us to like go through this on our own, right?
No,
right?
Don't.
Yeah. Like don't go through it on your own. Lacey, how about this? I'm going to hit you with a different question, and maybe similar question, but a little different spin.
Okay.
Best business advice when you guys started your business, was there what would you tell your younger self, and or was there somebody that gave you just phenomenal advice or business advice that you'd like to share with a young entrepreneur? What's the best business advice that you'd like to pass along?
Yeah. I got two things, I think, but the best business advice for sure came from you and Wesleyan. You're welcome. It was, don't try to be everything to everyone because you end up being nothing to no one. And the other one was the very hard lesson of being too far in the tactics and not enough in the strategy.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Man, that's a drop the mic right there. And
yeah.
Can I change my answer a little? Because if I were to go back,
but all right. So let's take. All right. So first off, find a mentor, right? Find a mentor. Yep. Number one. And I'll tell you, I've been in business for 35 years, and I'm learning. It's insane of like how many mistakes I can make in a single day, right?
Yeah.
All right. So number one, I want to recap. So hold your thought, Megan.
Okay.
Find a mentor, right? Mm-hmm. Number two, don't try to be everything to everybody, because then we become what?
Nothing to no one.
Nothing to no one, right? Number three was don't get lost in the tactics and at the expense of strategy, right? Man, is that a drop the mic right there or what? Megan, drop the mic on number four. What do you got for number four?
I really just want to add on to number three and figure out like a roadmap, a business model, strategy. Have a plan and be able to pivot.
Remember this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
That's the thing.
Man, did we used to geek out or what, man? I loved were we in person? Were we on virtual when we I think we were in person, weren't we, Megan, when we broke that out?
I think you and me were, when you did that.
I think, Lacey, I think you and I did it on virtual, and I think, Megan, you and I were like, I'm like, hey, I'm breaking out my little triangle. So if you guys want to know about the triangle, just, that thing, that's a game changer, isn't it? Like if you could stay focused on that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Because I know we're coming into time. I want to hit that one step further, so I'll put it out to either one of you. Lacey, you brought it up. Tactics. For someone that's like, well, wait a minute, like I haven't gone through a strategic plan. I don't know what's a strategy. What's the difference between a strategy and a tactic? Like, so somebody out there that this might be a new foreign language to them. How would you walk that person through, that new entrepreneur through?
Oh, goodness. I cannot do it any justice that you did. Megan? How would you? I'm thinking, well, a lot of the times I would just be like, I would explain to them, like, if you chose this or this, doesn't move the needle at all. Like, it doesn't matter. A strategy it will move the needle for you. It's how you're doing it, not the little individual pieces of how you're doing it. Those things you can change, and it will not matter what happens to your business, honestly.
Right.
Strategy.
Yes.
It's a plan.
How you're going to make your money. That's important.
Yeah. Not just a social media post, right? Like I think a lot of people will get caught up in that. Like I need to post, I need to put something up. Yeah. And it's like, is that part that doesn't have to be part of your strategy? Right. If you have a strategy, right? So I think that's get clear on what you're supposed to be doing so that your tactics aren't all over the place, which are just small things that we do.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're just going to savor that one
Yep.
for a minute. Like those are
Yep.
just great answers. I'm reading a phenomenal. Damon and I are like avid readers. I'm reading a great book. It's called Barista to Billionaire. Barista to Billionaire. It's a phenomenal book. I think you guys would both love it. It's a gentleman. He like dropped out of college, was working at a coffee shop, started his entrepreneurial journey, and built a $1 billion business. It's absolutely fascinating. And I'm at the part right now where he met with Warren Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger. So like, here's a dropout of college, working at a coffee shop, built up a $1 billion company. And he said, if I have this correct, the biggest players like the Bill Gates, like they have, like, they're not caught exactly what you're saying, Lace. Like they're not stuck in today's tactics or today's problems. They have the ability to look out 5, 10, 20 years down the road and just be laser focused. I'm going to have challenges today, but if I can like, okay, stock market's all over the place or whatever's hitting you today, if you can say laser focus on the eye and the prize of like, what is this association going to look like in 2035? What's it going to look like 15 years from now? Yeah. How can I build a legacy that could go past me? Like, it was just really powerful. And I felt that segues with what you're just describing. So, okay, man, it's such a great conversation. So, okay. I don't want this to end, but I know we're coming in the bottom of the hour. Any parting thoughts, words of wisdom, Megan Militello, any parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you want to share with everybody as we close out?
Community over competition.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Good one.
There you go.
Community over, man. Oh my goodness gracious. Lacey, any parting thoughts, words of wisdom as we close out today?
Oh goodness, I already said all the things.
Just dropped all the truth bombs already, right?
Chat GPT, if you're not in it, get it.
Community over competition and just chat GPT, man. And you two will be. Damon, your thoughts as we what oh my goodness gracious. You didn't have to call 911. I made it through the conversation.
Yeah.
How'd you do? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think it's great to understand what you guys are going to be doing with your association, bringing the manufacturers in Alaska together, because that is how together is how everyone succeeds. And like you said, collaboration over competition, community over competition. I mean, let's face it. Anybody that talks about competition, unless you're Coca-Cola, is really talking about something that doesn't exist. And once they realize that and start working together, everyone does better.
That's
right. I just think that's so key. And when we really want everyone to do well, because there's enough for everyone. There is now, and there will be.
Yep. So there's always enough. So, all right, guys, we are going to close out. First off, I want to just extend anybody that joined us, if you just joined us, do yourself a favor, go back, hit the little rewind drag button and catch the whole thing. Please connect with Megan on LinkedIn. Please connect with Lacey on LinkedIn. You'll thank us later. They are doing amazing, incredible work. Cannot wait to see where this association goes. I want to thank you guys. I look up to you. I admire you. I worship you. Uncle Kurt, I'm on live. I'm proud to say I love both of you guys. You've really meant so much to me over the years, and I just cherish both of you, your friendship, and serving our country proudly. God bless both of you. And I just want to say, we wish you guys just massive, massive, insane success. So go crush it, right? Just go out and crush it. Don't even do it for yourselves. Do it for me and Damon. How's that? Right?
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Only for you too.
Hey, we're going to close out. Diane drops one more comment here.
Oh, yeah. She had dropped one before that. Be able to pivot, be able to adjust to the ever-changing challenges. That's a big deal. And then she said, always in to help support the manufacturing industry. Let me know if I can help. So Diane's in there in your corner as well. Awesome stuff, Kurt.
Hey, let's close it out, guys. Man, this was awesome. Thank you both. Hang out with us for 1 second. Guys, go out, have an amazing, incredible rest of your week, and do me a favor. Do Damon a favor. Do Lacey and Megan a favor. Just go out and be someone's inspiration, just like these two amazing ladies, and you too will make the world a better place. So we'll see you guys soon. We'll see you Friday.
Yep. Have a great week.